I disagree with God about mosquitoes, about how long I can hold my breath, and about some truly junky stuff that's happened in my life. Is that okay? Let's talk more. So here's the big question. Are we allowed to disagree with God? So let's think of the people in our lives that we have never disagreed with, not once in our whole life. I'm gonna say the 7-Eleven attendant, the custodian at my work, the mailman. I haven't disagreed with the mailman. Here's what's in common with all those people. I don't know them very well. And I'm gonna say that that's what's true about the people that you're thinking of too. The people that you have never disagreed with, you don't know well enough to disagree with. Because when we have a relationship with someone, we disagree with them. That's a natural part that comes out. Let's get to know God better. Let's work together to figure out like who is this God and how can I know him well enough that I can disagree with him? Are we allowed to disagree with God? Absolutely. So I have a quote about it being okay to disagree with God. This is from Tim Keller. He says, if your God never disagrees with you, you might just be worshiping an idealized version of yourself. Are you worshiping an idealized version of yourself, or are you worshiping the God who's described in the Bible, who we saw on earth several thousand years ago? God is not this imaginary friend. God has opinions that are different from you. Yeah? So you can disagree with God about it. Let's move on. So then, how? How am I supposed to disagree with God? I want to give you two stories. So first one, Jonah. God says to Jonah, I want you to go to Nineveh. I want you to tell them all about me. And through what you tell them, I'm going to save them. I'm going to redeem them. Jonah says, no way, Jose. I do not like Nineveh. I'm not going there. He runs away from God, leaves God, tries to avoid God altogether until, you probably know the story. He ends up on a ship. He gets thrown off the ship, swallowed by a fish. He's in a denky fish for 3 days. No bueno. That's one way that you can disagree with God. Let me give you the other way that you can disagree with God. The stories of Job. Job's life falls apart every which way you can possibly imagine, and then some ways that you couldn't possibly imagine. On top of that, he has sores all over his body. So just imagine him, he's sitting on a hilltop, covered in sores, and he's just thinking like, what the heck, God? What have you done? What does Job do in this disagreement? He doesn't turn away from God. He takes God by the face and tells him how he disagrees. Here's what God did after that. You ready for this? He grabs a lightning bolt, he throws it at Job. Job just explodes into smithereens everywhere. It's amazing. That's not what happens. God talks back. God talks back to Job. When Job disagreed with God so fiercely, God spoke. He started a conversation. That's how we disagree with God. You don't turn away. You don't say like, I don't believe in this God who doesn't agree with all of my opinions and decisions. No, you have a conversation. Now, why have a conversation instead of running away? For me, the reason is because of the cross. When I look at God, no matter what I'm looking at, if I'm looking at mosquitoes or I'm looking at how long I can hold my breath, I know that I can trust God because he became a human being, died on a cross just to pay for my sins and then rose again and promised me eternal life. I know he's good because I can look at the cross. He's good. He's trustworthy. So here's some tangible ways that I do that. The times that I disagree with God the most is when I'm walking the dogs. Praying is just talking to God. I walk my dogs, I'm cleaning up their poo, I'm telling them don't bark at the neighbor's cat, all while I'm talking to God about whatever's going on in my day, whatever's going on in my life, my opinions, my decisions, and I'm wondering, was that a good decision or a bad decision? I just talk to God about it. Some things, I still disagree with God about, actively. But you know what I've done? I've talked to God and I submit, because he's king. He's my dad, he's my friend, and he's king. The last thing that I would recommend, the best thing, is find a friend or a mentor or someone like that who's 3 or 10 steps closer to God than you. Taken 3 or 10 steps more than you have. And then you talk to them about the disagreements. And you know what a great place to find a friend who's 3 or 10 steps further along than you? Switch on Wednesday nights. Every Wednesday night at your Life.Church campus, you can come to Switch. I'd recommend it to digest how you disagree with God. Also, comment, subscribe this video. We're gonna have content like this every single week. I'll see you next time.